All right, here we go. Mob James, welcome to VladTV.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you. I've been
Pleasure
listening to a
being
lot of your other interviews, and I think you're a very important part of the whole death row story, you know, being there from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate you coming in.
Oh, no problem.
So let's start from the beginning. You grew up in Compton,
Yeah.
and you were a member of the mob Piru.
Used to be, yes.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Tell me the history of mob Piru in Compton, because you guys are generally considered Bloods, but kind of a specific set, right?
Yeah, well, actually, Pirus, we different from Bloods, but, I mean, our neighborhood was just a lot of us hanging out, and before the violent part came in, just hanging out, fighting, and different stuff like that. I got shot in 1980, and that's when we stepped the game up a little bit in 1980, from fighting to really getting violent with it.
Mm-hmm. Was there a split from Piru and Bloods at some point?
No, we was always Pirus. Compton is different from L.A.
Mm-hmm.
L.A. is more Bloods. Compton is all Pirus. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's totally different.
Like, how old were you when you first started getting involved in that?
Oh, man. 12, 13.
Okay.
Really hanging out, really in it. Think about 16, 15, 16, really full-fledged.
Okay. And were you one of the founders, or was it already a set?
No, the mob was already there.
Okay.
Which, I don't consider the big homie thing, but I don't do the big homie thing, but we had older guys in the neighborhood that set that way before we even thought about doing it. We just pretty much picked up where, they was just like older guys, they was hanging out. It wasn't no gunplay and all of that in the neighborhood, and that we brought that to it. Really just start the shooting and the fighting and doing the other stuff.
I mean, when we talk about the 80s, that's when the crack era started to really develop. Because from what I understand, it was very different before crack showed up.
It was.
Yeah. Once crack showed up, for example, I had Big U on my show, and he was locked up when crack first hit the street. When he came out, he kind of explained to me how all the guns were different.
So when it actually hit was like 83, and I came back home 84, and we went from being able to just, and it changed it because two things happened major: the influx of guns, and a different kind of guns, and then
like the automatics. And
the
everything else like
automatics,
that, yeah.
because we hadn't even seen automatics. We weren't even having no automatics then, and especially like what we was inflamed by the 9mm from the movie that came from New York, was King of New York, when Lawrence Fishburne had the 9mm in the King of New York. We was like, oh, that what the, you know what I mean? Because we come from the Clint Eastwood era, the pistols and the 4.5 and the magnums. So when crack came, all the different movies came that influenced the culture at the same time.
Oh yeah, we went from 38s to, I used to have this stick where I used to cut a bat in half. And that was my weapon of choice. Then from 38s to AKs, Uzis, and all of this other shit. So yeah, the game, it went up when crack cocaine came. Before crack, we were like solid. Like the neighborhood, everybody got along, everybody was together. Pretty much how when Suge came, I brought Suge to the neighborhood. He was like crack cocaine. Everything went bad after he came. But,
Okay. Well, you talked about getting shot. I guess you had gotten shot 4 times total?
Yeah.
Was that happening early on?
Yeah. First time, guys come through the neighborhood. We get on the bike to meet them. They get off their bikes and start shooting. I was hitting the chest. That was with a 38. The second time was with a shotgun.
Oh.
they come get me at the house. We had the Compton swap meet over there, and the Samoans was jumping on one of the little homies. So we get there, a 12-year-old Samoan come from the side of the car and start shooting with a shotgun. And shot me up. I still had that. That was maybe 81, 82. And then we was at a party at the Samoans, the third time I was hit, in the back with a 4.5. And some cat with the wheelchair was talking crip and all that, and I pushed him over, and all hell broke loose. So we made it to the van. They started coming running to the van. We got out, did our thing. They started doing their thing. I got hit. So, and the other one, I was just grazed on the side by my sit, hanging out, and they came through popping.
I mean, as you're getting shot over and over again, was there ever a moment like, okay, I gotta get out this area?
No.
Because no. At no point did you say, I'm gonna leave for my safety.
Every time, nah, I didn't look at it like that then. I mean, I was gangbanging. My whole thing was retaliation every time. You got to go back, regardless if it was me or one of the homeboys. If they shot at us, I went back and shot at them. I mean, retaliation, that's just the way we live.
Well, at one point you went to prison.
Yes.
For how long?
2 years.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, what was that for?
Violation of my gang probation. I was on the high gang probation thing. And I had 2 weeks left on this probation they had in Compton, and told them, fuck it, I wasn't coming. I wasn't going. And I went and go see my parole officer. They sent me to court. The judge gave me 2 years in the penitentiary.
You violated your probation.
Yeah, so I told him, hold up, wait a minute, 2 years in the penitentiary for 2 weeks? He said, you had your chance to talk, and that was it.
Okay, and that was the last time you got locked up?
That was in the penitentiary? That was the only time I went to penitentiary.
Okay. But you were doing jail time after that?
No, I went to jail for attempted murder in '92. Did 8 months in there, got accessory after the fact, and no more jail time after that.
Okay. Now, you and Suge knew each other since you guys were teenagers.
Yeah.
I guess you met in high school?
Well, no, I've been knowing Suge in the neighborhood for he been there a long time, but his mama wouldn't let him hang out. He didn't hang out like we hung out,
right.
Walking the streets back and forth or whatever. And Suge had a motorcycle, I had a motorcycle. And I would see Suge riding his bike, and we'd ride and go banging around the neighborhood or whatever. He couldn't associate with us, should I say. So after that, I think we went to Linwood together, and we went to, damn, I forgot the name of that little school over there on Bullets. But we went to school together, and after high school, he disappeared.
Right, he went to college.
Yeah.
To play ball.
Yeah.
UNLV, I guess.
Yeah, that's where he went. Then when I got out of prison in 1988, he just came to the house. And when he came, me and him been kicking it ever since.
Okay. So during the time in high school, Suge wasn't gang affiliated at all?
No.
Yeah.
Nothing. He didn't know. Well, he knew people there in the neighborhood, but he didn't know, like my brothers. He didn't know nobody that's worked for Death Row. He didn't know none of them. He knew the people on the block, but he didn't deal with no homies as far as saying, I'm a Piru, I'm woo-woo. No, never.
Yeah. Okay. So Suge comes back to Compton. I mean, I guess he played football, and I think he played football in college, and then I think he got an NFL contract, and that ended up not working out, and then he came back to Compton.
When I got out in '88, he came the next day. Yeah. I was out one day, and he came over there, and from there, we hopped in the Jeep, we was riding around. Next thing I know, I was doing the security Budweiser Superfest with him for his cousin Big West. And from doing that show that night in L.A., we was doing shows all over the place, everywhere else. So that's how he got in the game and started doing it. And then he met Tom Klein. So from Tom Klein, he had music, cars, and all kind, sorts of things. So Tom Klein was like one of his investors to help with Death Row, and we went from there.
Before the whole Death Row thing, there was the Vanilla Ice thing.
Yeah, that's when it was Fern Hill Records.
Yeah. Were you around?
Yeah.
Okay. So this story is very fuzzy. Vanilla Ice said that, Suge came over and basically...
Suge didn't own shit to that. Suge went to him and pretty much punked him out of his shit with Chocolate, saying that he wrote the shit the whole nine.
Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, didn't have nothing to do with it.
So Chocolate had nothing to do with that song?
No. He took the contract to Vanilla Ice, made him sign it, and they gave him a check for it.
Were you there when that happened?
Yeah, I was with Suge.
Okay. And the story that Vanilla Ice said was that Suge took him to the balcony.
Nah, I wasn't there on that. No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that. But he did punk Vanilla Ice.
Oh, yeah, he punked him and a lot of people.
How did he punk him in that situation?
Well, basically telling him what he gonna do with his arm around him and told him pretty much what you gonna do. You gonna sign this paper and you gonna pay me for this. Sure, we was just getting into it. We didn't have no artists, no groups. Chocolate wasn't doing nothing. I mean, just a lot of people sitting around. People from Texas trying to get into the music thing and didn't have nothing. So pretty much everybody, how we was eating was punking people.
Okay. So Vanilla Ice actually signed over
Yeah.
the contract and Suge got a big check.
Got a big check.
Because Ice Ice Baby went like Diamond or something.
He got a big check, and Chocolate got a check, what Suge gave him, and all he did is went and bought a Mercedes and then had shit after that.
Suge or Chocolate?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
He
But
ain't had
Suge actually got a bag.
Yeah, Suge got paid fat
Okay.
a couple of times.
Okay. So the Vanilla Ice thing happened, and you guys are still rolling together. Well, I guess originally it was Future Shock Records, right?
No.
Well, because DOC was involved.
Well, that's DOC shit. When DOC came, Suge started pulling them. We had Fern Hill Records.
Fern Hill.
That
Okay.
others didn't go nowhere because Tom Klein wanted Suge to do Fern Hill Records.
Okay. Were there any artists on Fern Hill at all? Or?
On now one of them, no.
None.
When Suge went and got DOC, this is what we doing, and he told Doc that. So when he told Doc, I want you to come over here with us, now we sitting at the table saying we finna go and get Dre, Michelet, we going up to Ruthless Records, we doing Whoop the Whoop, and that's what we did.
Okay. The Vanilla Ice thing happened.
Yeah.
And then there's the Ruthless thing. Was there anything in between where Suge was basically strong-arming people for contracts and so forth in between?
I mean, there was a lot of dirty shit going on. I mean, we was taking studio music. We was doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Terrorizing the industry, pretty much.
Exactly.
Okay.
And everybody was scared.
Yeah.
Everybody was scared.
So then the Eazy-E thing happened. So I've heard the story a couple different ways. For example, BG Knockout, who was very close with Eazy-E, basically said that
he said that Dre called him, to meet with him to sign over, sign him, get him out the contracts or release him or whatever. But when he get there, Suge was there. So they was in a hotel room. Suge had dudes hiding in the closet under the bed. And when he get up there, Suge locked the door. All these cats come from under the bed and out the closet in the bathroom with guns. You know what I'm saying?
And Dre was in there?
Dre wasn't there.
Oh, Dre wasn't there at all?
Nah. Dre set it up, though.
Okay. So
because he didn't hate Dre. You know what I'm saying? As people try to portray, he didn't.
Well,
they was friends once upon a time.
Yeah, they were really close friends at one point.
No, that was at Death Row. We went to Ruthless Records and got Dre contract from Jerry Heller.
Okay.
Jerry Heller and his bodyguards was there. Eazy was lucky he wasn't there because we'd have got him too. But Eazy kept his shit at home. So when we went into Ruthless Records and pretty much strong-armed Jerry, which he don't want to witch call him, but Suge, you go in there and talk to Jerry, I got these dudes right here, which is his bodyguards. So we set out and waited for Suge to do what he had to do. Suge came out, Suge had a check, and he had paperwork for Dre and Michelet.
He had a check.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jerry Heller wrote him a check?
Gave Suge money, yeah.
Okay. But then at one point, Eazy-E signed over a contract.
Eazy-E did a song saying that that's why he's still getting paid. So I don't think he ever got Eazy-E.
Okay, well, I mean, because the story was that Eazy-E signed it over, but then a day after he said it was, he signed under duress.
You know what? We ran into Eazy so many times on Melrose, on Sunset. We had one problem with Eazy, and he got robbed. So I don't know what him and Suge did. I wasn't there, but we never got nothing from Eazy.
Okay. So Eazy got robbed, though?
Yeah.
You guys robbed him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my homeboy Kenny Chubbs robbed him.
Okay. So now, after having Eazy-E sign over the Ruthless artists, you guys now had the green light to go forward with Death Row Records.
Yeah.
And originally, I think it was with Solar Records was partnered with Death Row.
Yeah.
Dick Griffey and so forth. And I interviewed, who later became the president of Solar Records, and he told me about kind of the details of it. There was a situation in the studio where someone was using the phone. Do you know about this? Where Suge made those guys strip?
That night, Suge comes into the building, goes up to the third floor, and one of the Stanley brothers was on the phone. That he asked the guy to get off the phone, and he said, and I think the Stanley brothers had been part of the World Class Wrecking Crew, and they were actually there to try and get Dre, who by then is becoming known as a hit producer, to do something for them. And so he tells Suge, he didn't know who Suge really was. He said, "Hey, look, I'm one of Dre's guests. Go talk to him." And Suge said, "I don't talk to him. I run this." He said, "Man, go, leave me alone." So Suge apparently goes out, goes back downstairs to his car, gets a gun, comes back, puts the gun to his head, and says, "Motherfucker, I told you to get off the phone." So then he hangs up the phone. Suge brings him into the studio and has everybody, people from the rehearsal, said, "I want you all to come in here." And he said, "This is what's going to happen if you use that phone." Tells the guy, take off his clothes. And he says, "I'm not taking off my clothes." So then he shoots the gun he has by the guy's ear. Then he has a guy undress, and he says, "Could fuck you up, but I'm not going to do that. But I know where you live. I got your driver's license. I know where your mama lives. And this is just a lesson for all of you all. If you use that phone, I'm going to fuck you up."
No.
Okay, you don't know about that.
What year was that?
Not sure. There were Solar Studios, and
we did so much. I mean, we did a lot of things, and a lot of people was punked. A lot of people got slapped. A lot of people. Death Row was Death Row, and a lot of people got bullied into a lot of shit.
Okay. So you guys are working, Death Row is working on The Chronic. And Suge is associating with you and the other Pirus at this point. Was Suge ever made a Piru himself, or was he just the money guy?
Suge was the money guy. Suge was never, like I said, when we did Budweiser Superfest, he asked me how many bloods I can get, how many you want, and from there, with his money and everybody clinged to Suge. Because now you got money. Now, okay, I'm going to buy you this. I'm going to take care of this. That's how Suge bought his way in. Now, I got my brother and all these guys coming from the penitentiary, and the guys that my brother brought, it was, you couldn't look at Suge wrong. So now they accept Suge as one of us. He live in the neighborhood. He been living in the neighborhood, so he's one of us.
Right.
But farthers, putting in, breaking bread in the neighborhood, he never did that. So his money
Right.
got him in that.
Well, I mean, he wore red suits. He had a mob ring.
All that came way after.
Okay.
All that came after my brother came. Before that, when we first started, Suge, if you look at all his videos, Suge had either a gray suit or a black or something like that. When the muscle got there, like, you couldn't look at him. When the muscle came, that's when the suit changed, excuse me. The suit changed. The cigars, the rings. Mm-hmm. That's when all that came. So when he felt untouchable, that's when Suge Knight changed. This when the big Suge came.
Mm-hmm. Well, I interviewed Reggie Wright, and he said the way that he linked up with Suge was,
we had got intel that a few of the guys that was working for Death Row Records was planning on robbing and kidnapping Suge or holding them for ransom.
one of his employees?
Yes, homeboys.
Okay. Quasi-employees.
Yeah.
Were planning on kidnapping him and ransoming him.
Yes.
Trying to get a ransom for him.
Correct.
Okay.
My father got that intel.
Yeah.
Do you know about that situation?
Yeah. Well, at that point, it was a lot of guys in the neighborhood that wasn't getting nothing, and it was some that was getting $300-400 every 2 weeks. Now everybody knowing what's happening. So here you have P. Miller give all his partners $1 million and tell them to do what they gonna do. Well, we know Suge got it. Why Suge ain't did that? So a lot of the guys was like, let's just kidnap his ass and get our money and say, fuck this dude. But then you had some that said, no, he good. That's the homie. Woo, woo, woo. So it didn't happen. But you had a lot of those guys talking to Reggie Wright because they senior, because they got a lot of respect for him. And they just put him up on it and they told him.
Right. And ultimately it never happened.
No. Well, I mean, he was getting it. I mean, he was being extorted too. I mean, that's how I was getting my money from him.
Okay, because I guess you said that whenever you'd get mad at him,
I get a check.
you'd get a check.
Mm-hmm.
How much would you get, like, during these various incidents?
Well, $1,500, $1,000. Depends on how many times. One time I got mad at him. He said some stupid shit, and we had the hydraulic shop. Let me ride hydraulics, and I think my brother Buncher came in there to get some parts or something. And he said, "This is for the homies," and I got mad at him, and we started arguing. Come to the office. I got something for you. I took Dr. Dre 64 Chevy. Come to the office, I got something for you. I ain't giving you back the car. So I got a check, and then he wanted the car. I ain't giving you the car until I get another check. And I worked him that way. I made more money being mad at him than I did working for him.
You know, Reggie Wright Jr. was essentially the head of Death Row, police security. Were you kind of the head of Death Row street security?
At the beginning, yes. Until my brother, till Buncher came. Mm-hmm. And when I told Buncher, you gonna go out of town with Suge and you flying with Suge and this and that, that's when I pretty much was said, I'm in the backgrounds now. Mm-hmm. And Buncher was his right-hand man at that time.
You hear a lot of stories of like the violence that happened at death row. You know, the most kind of famous one is that Suge would make guys drink piss.
No,
You never saw that.
I ain't seen that, but it was a lot of times I wasn't there. The majority of the things that I didn't see, my brother told me about it. And fathers drinking pee, no, a lot of them done got their ass whooped now. These guys ain't doing no shit like that, making them drink their piss or hold their shit. And all. I mean, I done heard a lot of stories too, but they wasn't like that, man.
I guess there was a room with like the door handle was on the outside that,
Yeah.
you know, someone, you know, upset Suge, they'd get taken into the room and get the shit beat out of them.
And whatever happened at that office happened at that office right there. You could walk in the door and get your ass whooped at death row. You could be sitting down and waiting to see Suge, and somebody come in, hide a motherfucker, and they get their ass whooped. I mean, a lot of those guys that worked there was scared just to come to work because somebody might just come in here and whoop your ass.
I mean, did you personally see a problem with that environment? You know, with, you know, I mean, you guys were the ones that were the enforcers essentially, but then you had Dr. Dre, who, from what I understand, didn't like any of that shit. Then you had the various other artists and so forth.
Dre was scared too. I mean, it was all those guys, you know, I look at their videos and all that shit, they was all scared. You know, can't none of them say they wasn't scared. My whole thing about it is, you can't treat your artists like that. Why is you getting down like that? Why is you putting the fear in these guys like that? They work for you. They ain't gonna do what they do if they coming in here knowing they gonna get jumped on or might get jumped on. No, a lot of the shit I didn't like was one of the main reasons why I backed away from Suge now.
Yeah.
I guess the other guys, they just kept that penitentiary mentality and was enjoying it.
You know, Trey D's a regular on my show. And, you know, he was kind of describing the environment to me. And, you know, Snoop had his crew of Long Beach Crips. You know, he said there was one particular incident where Warren G got his chain taken.
Some dude snatched one chain in the parking lot of K&M in like about 90, 95, 96, something like that, and had ran back up in the K&M, and so Warren G went and got C-Style, and they went and, you know, they hollered at Suge, and Suge brought him in the room with the, you know, the big red death row rug with the thing, don't step on the logo with the Doberman pincher, but Damu right there and all this. And it was just a lot of theatrics, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, you getting tickets. What's really going on? You know what I'm saying?
Well, because that's Dre's stepbrother. Right?
Oh, he got his chain back. We wasn't leaving unless he was getting his chain back. Something else was gonna happen. We wasn't like that. Wasn't nobody getting punked at death row when I was there.
You know about that situation at all? No.
When Suge changed, I was gone.
Okay, so you started moving away.
My whole thing was to bag up, and me and Suge started falling out. I mean, like really, he was like really pissing me off. And I seen the homies change from getting these checks, working with him. The whole environment was totally different.
Okay. You were there for Snoop's murder trial.
I was his bodyguard for that.
You were Snoop's bodyguard?
Yeah.
Okay. You weren't the bodyguard that was involved in the actual trial?
No, I was. Yeah. Suge had me out there for one reason. The Long Beach Crips was coming up there. I guess they was saying that they gonna get Snoop because he ain't doing this for their people or whatever. Mm-hmm. So Suge had me grab some guys and post up at the courthouse. If they come up there, we knew what the business was gonna be. Y'all ain't finna touch this guy. And it wasn't gonna happen on my watch because I'm getting paid to have Snoop back at that time.
Yeah, and Snoop ended up beating the trial.
Yeah.
So Death Row is doing just better and better. You know, the Chronic ends up becoming huge. Doggy Style comes out, it's huge. Above the Rim comes out, it's huge.
Yeah.
Just, Murder Was the Case soundtrack comes out, huge. Everything is platinum, multi-platinum, everything else like that. And then Tupac gets signed to the label. Were you close? Were you in the mix when Tupac came around, or were you already kind of moving away?
When Tupac came, Tupac went straight to the studio. I was at the studio a couple of times. Suge brought Tupac to the neighborhood a few times. Didn't like the environment. He was cool. He was cool at the beginning. Just certain things, just different stuff. I didn't like the way he started getting down, and backed away from him too.
Right. Because this is something that we've discussed a lot. For example, Shock G from Digital Underground, who first signed Tupac, said that Suge held down Tupac the way he's always wanted someone to hold him down. Here was someone.
What, on the thug life aspect?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't. The homies had Tupac more than I think Suge did. Tupac was more of a money thing, I'd say, for Suge, and like a trophy, because when he brought Tupac to the hood, people was on Tupac. A lot of the homies cling to Tupac and wouldn't really own Suge like that. It was Tupac. Tupac was hanging and doing what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? But I think Tupac went a little overboard and really thought he was one of the homies.
Well, he got the tattoo. He got the MOB tattoo.
Yeah.
Some people say that it was money over bitches.
It was an MOB tattoo, which he should have never had. He ain't never claimed the hood. He ain't never been in the hood. He ain't never fought for the hood. That's some. I want to be from the hood, putting the hood on his records, and you in the studio and you get a tattoo. You didn't come to the hood and ask to have that tattoo. The homies gave you that. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the situation that he was in. He was hanging. He was making money. They was chilling. So they accepted him. But you can't just bring him to the hood like that and say he from the mob. Me personally, he wasn't from the mob.
Mm-hmm. So, Tupac was in jail after the whole Quad studio shooting situation. He gets out and he is beefing with Bad Boy Records, basically his first day out.
Yeah.
I'd actually heard that he wrote "Hit 'Em Up" like in prison.
He man, the dude was good. He was writing songs like it was crazy.
Yeah.
When he came home, he had an attitude, and getting on death row was his way of like his own now. You know what I'm saying? So he already had an agenda, I think. Mm-hmm. And Suge just let him roll with it.
So he gets out, and there's essentially funk between Bad Boy and Death Row.
Yeah.
Because, Death Row is, one of their two biggest artists is beefing with Bad Boy, so now Suge is beefing with Puffy.
It was a power move for Suge. Suge was already beefing before Tupac. This wasn't just Tupac and Biggie. Suge was trying to get at Puffy and trying to bully him like he was bullying everybody else.
Right, because some of Puffy's associated artists were now, coming to Death Row, like Jodeci, like Mary J. Blige.
All of them was Mary J. Blige. Suge's supposed to went to the people who wasn't paying her right and helped her out of her situation. him and Puffy was at it before Tupac even touched ground in L.A. And I think Puffy just wasn't biting into the shit. We lost a homeboy, Big Jake, out there, got killed in a shooting. You know what I'm saying? Suge came home. How the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? He's out there riding with you, taking care of business. Suge was in some shady shit, doing too much, and trying to flex. And he didn't have his bodyguards like he normally have. So he was out there thinking people is like really scared of him now. He couldn't take advantage of that this time. Puffy and them wasn't biting into that shit this time.
Right. They had their own.
Yeah, he had killers too. He had people with the business.
He had guys
too.
like Wolf and everything.
That was ready to go.
Yeah.
That was ready to go. So he didn't benefit off of that. Because if he could have got Puffy, he got it sold up. So he couldn't do that.
So at one point, there was rumors that Puffy had aligned himself with the Southside Crips.
He did.
And there was bounties on death row chains.
Yeah.
10,000, I think?
$10,000.
Right. Your mom had a death row chain.
She had a little bitty one.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they were snatching those. Yeah, they were snatching those.
Right.
That's when it really got serious. They used to come on California Street. My daughter's mother is from Southside, and she used to call me and tell me, all them guys from out was out from New York, and all these guys out here, and they buying liquor and weed. We out here getting loaded, and they talking about y'all. So Keefe D, who I found out who he was through Paula, was my daughter's mother's best friend. They was all kicking it over there, saying what they gonna do, how they getting down. So I knew they little half-ass moves because of that, through them. So when Puffy and them came, we knew Puffy and them was here. You know, and then Keefe D was they called him one of the big homies in the South Side. So it became a situation, and it's I want to say crazy, but Suge knew what he was doing, Puffy knew what he was doing, and now you got two gangs fighting each other, and they sitting back letting it happen, and they getting paid at the same time. So here you got Orlando, here you got Trayvon, and they run into each other at the mall. So they fight, Trayvon keeps his chain, get his chain. Now there's a beef. The mob is going over here for retaliation because this ain't happening. And they beefed up their squad saying, okay, they ain't coming through here, this and that. So it's shootings here and there. Now we at the MGM.
Right, for the Mike Tyson fight.
Exactly.
Were you in Vegas? Yeah, you
were
in
I
Vegas.
ran 662. I was running the club at the time.
Right.
Reggie Wright was there, but I was doing the door and all of that.
Right, and your brother Buntry was there as well.
Buntry was at the fight.
Yeah.
He went to the fight with him. We already knew it was finna happen. That they was coming to Vegas, the whole nine. And then when they came, they pulled up in front of 662. I alerted a bunch of them and told them that Keefe D and them out here, the South Sides is out here. And they drove off. Now, if you look at the video at the MGM, you know, everybody's saying, and this is the killer part, Tupac don't know no Southside Crips. He don't know none of these guys. How did he know to go after this dude? And this is one of my problems with Suge. Man, this dude is an artist. This man is worth millions of dollars to you, and you let him go over here and fight a gangbanger. A man he knew jack shit about. And this is how he get killed, because you running into a hitter.
Orlando Anderson was in the lobby of the MGM. Trayvon Lane sees him and tells everybody in the crew, hey, that's the guy that jumped me. You know, from what I understand, he didn't go to Tupac and whisper in his ear. He told all the big homies that there's someone in the area that's potentially a danger.
If and this where I say BS. If he went to the homies would have went after that cat and dealt with him. Not after Tupac go get him, but the homies would have dealt with that. And Suge should have allowed the homies and let the homies deal with that situation, not Tupac. This ain't your business. But Tupac goes over there and take off. He threw the first blow.
Yeah.
Then after that, everybody else is on him.
Okay, and Buntree was part of that crew?
Yeah, everybody
Buntree,
was
I think,
there.
Neckbone, a bunch of dudes.
I mean, I ain't gonna give you a roll call, but I mean,
It's all on camera. I mean, it's what I'm saying.
yeah, exactly. It's all on camera.
I'm not.
So if you know the faces,
Yeah.
you see everybody that's there. Everybody that was there got a lick in, which
Including Suge.
I mean, this guy got up. Yeah, this guy got up. Wasn't busted up. I mean, I know he was hurting because I mean they was kicking the shit out of him, and now that's like kicking a dog. This little dude is with the business in his neighborhood.
Right. I mean, Orlando was being investigated for multiple murders at the time, and he was known to be a real gangster from Southside.
He was a little young hitter.
Yeah.
He was with it, and I think those guys should have did their homework before they let Tupac go over there and mess with him.
Well, I interviewed Reggie, and he said
I didn't see him until about 2 or 3 hours after that incident happened. He was concerned about Pop. This all of concern. To say that he was upset with me or anything like that, those conversations didn't come until later.
Suge knew it was consequences from the beginning.
Yeah.
Suge knew it was consequences when they put the $10,000 on the chain. You know, a lot of people sitting here and if it wasn't for Suge, none of this would ever happen. None of this would be. Southside would be in their neighborhood and Mob would be in their neighborhood. All this other bullshit is stems from Suge. So Tupac could still be here, and maybe the majority of the guys that's on death row will still be here. But all of this is Suge Knight.
Okay. So the fight happens. Pac goes back to his room and change and everything else like that. And they start making their way towards Club 662. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, Keefe, Orlando, and the other guys in the car are looking for Suge and Tupac. Some girls saw Tupac and started yelling, which kind of alerted the Southside guys. And they pull up to the car and shoot the car up.
For number one, they knew that the Southsides was there. They knew what kind of car they was driving.
Because you told them.
Yeah, you got 15, 20 cars following each other. Y'all don't see this car coming past y'all? How did they get away? Buntree chased them. Woo. I mean, they shouldn't have got away.
Because Buntree was in the caravan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's fight night. Vegas is packed. Anybody go to Vegas, Mike Tyson fight. Las Vegas Boulevard is packed. Gang of people. How did they get away? Orlando was mad at Suge that this situation happened because he told Suge, fuck you and your money. This I know. What do you mean by that? What did this do?
When did Orlando tell Suge, fuck you and your money?
At the MGM.
Oh, okay.
So whatever he had working with him, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But why would he tell him that? So
Orlando told him that after he got jumped?
When he got jumped, he was hollering, fuck you and your money. Mm. And while these people around him, and they all walking out the door. They mobbing real fast. And if you look at that video, you see Tupac in front of everybody, walking like come on, man. You just signed your death.
Well, you yourself said that Orlando was the one that killed Tupac.
Yeah, Orlando killed Tupac.
Yeah. And I had been hearing this for the last 15 years from, friends of mine from Compton and everything else like that. It was like the worst kept secret in Compton.
Well, a lot of people didn't want to talk about it because, especially his uncle. If he'd have said it while Orlando was alive, that's snitching. You just send your nephew to prison and yourself.
Yeah, because he was in the car.
Yeah, so they ain't saying nothing. But now that he's gone and a lot of key players are gone, everybody can talk about it now, and everybody is talking about it. But, you hear that the police wanted Tupac because he was just Mustafa.
Yeah.
No.
Or Suge got Tupac killed because he was going to leave.
Well, some of them stories you hear, but just didn't let it go out the other ear.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Because that car was riddled with bullets from front to back. This was not the concept of Suge paying someone to kill Tupac while he's in the car.
That's why.
Graze him in the head. Like it was the stupidest conspiracy theory.
That's why people were saying that, why did Orlando say what he said? And Orlando pretty much told him, if this going down, nigga, fuck you and your money, I'm going to get you too. And you just got stumped out by a gang of bloods. And here he is. It's like, man, we finna get these fools.
Right.
And they didn't have a choice.
Right. Standard protocol for people in that life.
And all the homies should have known, man, that little cat ain't finna let that slide. That's not finna just go by. And they were shocked that it happened just like that. They didn't even make it to the club.
So the shooting happened. I actually interviewed Chris Carroll, who was the first responder, Vegas police that showed up. He essentially told me that Tupac's last words were "fuck the police."
I looked at him once again. I said, "What happened? Who did this? Who shot you?" And now he's looking at me, so we're looking at each other in the eyes. And this is kind of the first time he's even acknowledging my presence. And he looked at me, and I could tell he was getting a breath together to tell me. And he looked me right in the eyes, and we looked at each other, and he said, "Fuck you." And he said it just like that, with the emphasis on that F.
I don't know.
Suge and Tupac get taken to the hospital, but you're still back at 662.
Yeah.
You get word of what just happened.
Yeah.
But people weren't thinking that Tupac was going to die because Tupac has been shot other times and he survived.
When Suge came to the club, we asked what was going on. Everybody was finna leave. They was finna shut 662 down. Suge said no, he gonna be all right. He was hit in his medallion. So everybody kept partying. We all stayed there and we partied all night. And I think the next morning or something, day after, they said Tupac was dead. So it was like, wow, y'all said he finna live, but then now he's gone.
And this is something I've talked to the Outlaws and everything else like that. If you connect the fight at the MGM to the shooting that happened right afterwards, you could say that Tupac died gangbanging, because that situation with Orlando was a gang situation, and Pac wasn't a blood, wasn't, you know what I mean? He was rolling with Suge and he was associated with it.
But
you see what I'm saying?
That's like us. We not Crips or Bloods, but we could call 50 niggas up here and half of them be Crips, half of them be Bloods. You know what I'm saying? And these is all my homies that I'ma ride with. You know what I'm saying? It's the same situation. You know what I mean? Pac was riding with him. You know what I mean? Just like they was riding with him. You know what I mean? If some shit kicked off, niggas would have been the first to ride for Pac, and he was the same way. He was riding with his homies, whoever it was. He could have been with, whoever that day. You know what I'm saying?
And to break it down even more simpler, me and you become good homies, and you get into a situation, and I defend you as a homie.
Yeah.
Take the gangbanger shit away.
Yeah.
Because you not a gangbanger, I'm not a gangbanger. You know what I'm saying? But you own VladTV. You know
they
what I'm
on
saying?
your heels.
And
And Edie
niggas is
riding
on
with
your
you.
heels, and I ride for you.
Yeah.
Did I die for VladTV? You know what I mean? Did I die a reporter? Did I die, you know what I mean, a journalist?
You get very different answers depending on who you ask. But from your point of view, as someone who's been banging his whole life, or a large portion of his life, would you say that Tupac died gangbanging?
No, I think Tupac died because he put himself in a situation that he had no business. Tupac didn't have no business doing what he was doing.
Right. Which was a gang situation.
Which was a gang situation. He shouldn't have put himself in that situation.
But do you see what I'm saying, though? You
Yeah.
put yourself in a gang situation, so aren't you gang banging at that point?
You got hang-arounds. I'm guilty by association. And that's what he was. He was guilty by association. Now, I'm not going to play the part just to fit in. You got money. And just like I said before, you can't go buy another Tupac. You know what I'm saying? You can't go buy another one of them. You got 15 Bloods right here that this is what we getting our little change for. So this is Crip in Compton. We all Pirus from Compton. Go get his ass for what he did. Tupac, you sit right here in his chair. You my money. Don't let him run off and go hit somebody he don't know nothing about. And that's why the man is not here. He put himself in a situation that he had no business. It wasn't his business. I don't care. Any one of those guys could have told Tupac he was a Piru. It didn't make him.
Yeah, and I think there was the Showtime documentary about Suge. And I think Suge talked about, after that situation happened, and he said, well, you hot in the music, but now after this situation, now you're going to be hot on the street side. And right after that happened.
And that's coming from a man that wasn't hot from the beginning of his damn self. Suge ain't from he ain't never had no gun and did no drive-bys. He ain't stood at no stoves and fought no Crips. Right. He wasn't going to the high schools while we was doing us. He was getting an education. While we was fighting, we went to school just for lunch to fight. We didn't go to sit in no class. You know what I'm saying? My little sister, I go to school and she opened the doors for me because I'm pointing out what Crip I wanted. And she opened the door, he in her class. So, we was doing shit like that. Suge was getting an education. So Suge don't know about, okay, my brother, my homie. And Suge didn't give a fuck about us, man. Suge didn't know what gangbanging was truly about. You know what I'm saying? Suge didn't go to none of the funerals of the little homies. He probably can't even name 5 that died. So putting Tupac in a situation, he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck. We lost 11 homeboys in this death row shit. And ain't nobody family got taken care of, not even my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and I want to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
So Tupac is shot, and then he dies. And everybody knows that Orlando and the Southside Crips are behind it. A war then breaks out in Compton.
Yeah.
What happened was that all the players that were from Compton came back to Compton. And we were told that, hey, Southside was responsible for the shooting of Tupac, so it's coming back to Compton. And what that meant to us, a war was about to start. And sure enough, like 2 days later, it started.
Okay. Now, how many people were killed during this war?
I think in the next 10 days, we had 3 people murdered and I want to say 11 shootings.
All shootings, yeah.
Between Southside Crips and the mob Piru in Looters Park.
Okay, so just a full-blown war.
Full-blown war.
How many people got shot in the process of that aftermath on both sides?
Honestly, I can't say how many people got shot. I know it was a lot of shootings in the neighborhood, our neighborhood.
Yeah.
But our neighborhood was mainly, was doing a lot of shooting too. A lot of people ask me, well, if y'all know Orlando did it, why y'all didn't get Orlando? number one, Orlando didn't sit in one spot.
Right.
and
Orlando
just
knew that you guys know that he did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he didn't sit in one spot or sit on the corner and smoke weed and say, I'm waiting on these mom niggas to come to kill me.
Right.
No, he wasn't in his hood. He didn't hang out like that. He met his demise doing what he do best. And
Yeah, he died a couple years later.
yeah,
in a drug deal gone
yeah,
bad.
that's, I mean, that was his get down.
Orlando's grandmother had passed away the night before. And apparently he had been drinking all night with one of his best friends, Michael DeRoe. And they went over to a place called Mom's Burgers across the street from the car wash to get something to eat. Well, he sees a guy that owes, from another gang in Compton, a Crip set in Compton, that owes his uncle and his friend DeAndre, I forgot if it was $5,000, $10,000,
Yeah,
somewhere in there, about $5,000, over some cocaine.
Yeah.
So he decides, because they've been drinking and everything else, they got a gun in the car, they're going to go over and jam him up about the money he owes. Well, this guy's from another gang in Compton called Corner Pocket. And some of the other Corner Pocket gang members were there, and they start coming up like, hey, what's this all about? Why are you jamming them up? And next thing you know, Orlando pulls out a gun and shoots two of the Corner Pocket persons that are there, or shoots one of them right away. And then another Corner Pocket guy starts shooting back at Orlando and pretty much hits him dead center. I mean, he wasn't alive much longer after that. His partner that was in the car with Orlando took the gun and then started shooting back and ended up shooting another Corner Pocket guy that shot Orlando. They went around the corner, crashed the car, and we were pulling up there when Orlando was being pulled out of the car. The other guy took off running, dumping the gun. And we're waiting for paramedics, and one of our partners, Ray Richardson, was over there talking to Orlando, and he was basically taking his last breaths at that time. And two of the persons at the gas station that they were shooting at also died that day. So it was a triple murder, and it was all dope related.
Had nothing to do with the Tupac.
Nothing to do with Tupac.
If we had our way, we'd have got him. He'd have got by the neighborhood.
Well, because even though technically Tupac wasn't a Piru, it happened under your watch.
Me personally, it didn't matter if he was a Piru at that point. You know, the man got killed, and the homies was there, and Suge was the homie, and he was with Death Row. Now, I mean, the mob was Death Row, from the mob to Death Row. So, yeah, we didn't have a choice but to try to get, you know, do what we had to do because of that happened. If we didn't, then, you know, we look bad.
Right.
So didn't nobody have a choice but to do what they had to do.
Right. But you guys never got Orlando.
No.
Yeah. And then he was killed a couple years later, so at that point. Years later, Keefe D gets caught up in a sting operation and confesses the whole shooting situation to Greg Kading, who you ended up doing an interview with as well. When you heard that Keefe D confession, what did you think?
I didn't believe it because, okay, why is this guy saying this now? Don't he know he can go to jail?
Well, everyone in the car, at the time that he did that confession, everyone in the car except for him was dead. Orlando was dead, and there was two other guys in the car, and they were both dead as well at that point.
Oh, I didn't know they got killed.
One of them died, I think, of natural causes. He was just overweight and never, you know,
I
and
don't know.
poor
I
health.
had to ask Pam on that one.
I talked to Greg Kading about this.
By the time the Keefe D gave you that information, Orlando was gone. What about the other two members in the car?
Dre was already gone. He was in the passenger seat behind the driver.
How did he die?
He died from natural causes, obesity and health-related causes.
Okay.
And Terrence Anderson, the driver, he just recently died. He was shot and killed inside of a marijuana dispensary in Compton. And so now...
When was this?
Just recently, within the last couple months.
Oh.
So Keefe D's last man standing.
Now that he's free to speak on it, they give him immunity.
Yeah, I had Greg Kading explain this to me. He's the only living person in that crime. He gets caught up with a bunch of PCP, I think. Mm-hmm. And they say, confess this whole situation to us, and we'll drop this PCP case, which you basically facing life over. And whatever you say, if it matches up to everything that we check, none of this could be used to implicate you in the actual crime.
Well, the guy actually confessed to his nephew killing the man.
Yeah.
Now, from what I know, if I'm with you and I commit a crime, a murder, at least I got that same case.
Correct, but what I'm saying is the way they structured that.
Yeah, that's
he was not charged with that murder. Now, if other evidence comes out later on and pins him to the murder, then that's a whole different situation. But his actual confession cannot be used to
okay, don't
actually.
You think he pinned himself and all the other people saying that they saw him and he this and that, and not only that he said he did it, he puts himself there. So if I say I saw him, I can't be lying because he put himself there. It's
a tricky situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if he win, well,
I mean, he's still out right now.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Do you consider that snitching?
Well, his nephew is gone.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have said anything. He should have took that to his grave. I mean, my nephew did that. I mean, that's like me putting my brother out there because I know he's gone and he can't be convicted of nothing. I can sit there and say what Buntry did on death row. No, I can't say what Buntry did on death row. Everybody knows. Everybody on death row is assholes. That's all they need to know.
Well, after this happened, Suge was, I guess, violated his probation because of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Reggie Wright actually said that
was done between attorneys. I was there. How it happened was E.D. Fall. Y'all know E.D. Fall from one of the guys that represented on the Rodney King, the one with the beat up Reginald Denny. He was popular attorney from that. Well, anyway, E.D. Fall and David Kenner, we all met at the studio at E.D. Fall's office, and they came up with where they were about to sue, or they were in the process of suing Tupac, and they came up to agreement. Well, hey, if you come and testify, because we're trying to save Suge from going to jail to do that, 9-year violation, and testify that Suge was trying to really help you. He was trying to get them off you. He wasn't one that assaulted you. He was really trying to stop everybody from assaulting you. If you'll come and testify to that, we'll give you we'll settle this case with you for, I think it was $60,000.
I wouldn't put that past him.
Yeah. I mean, Reggie said it on camera.
But if he did, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things that, when me and Suge started out, it was me and Suge and a couple of the little homies. I even told Lil Reggie, I love you to death, but Suge shouldn't have never run you to death row. The reason why I'm saying that is because Lil Reggie had issues with some of the guys that was working for death row. So when you did that, what was the purpose of Suge doing that? Suge's purpose was to have Reggie there to keep us at a bay. Because
I see what it is.
We on his neck. And
okay. So he had the mob Piru dudes as muscle, but then he had Reggie and the police to kind of control that muscle in a way. And
exactly.
It was a balancing act.
So
okay. I never thought of it that way.
Just picture all the big homies, all the homies.
Right, because everyone
sitting here.
Every gangster is ultimately scared of the police to a certain degree.
It wasn't that. Just say, for instance, you got all these guys out of the penitentiary. These guys really don't know you from jack shit, but they telling you, man, what the fuck do this nigga think he talking to? Suge couldn't talk to you like that. Suge didn't have the control. The only control Suge had was letting you see how many numbers on that check. And, that's cool. But, I mean, we had homies fighting each other, stabbing each other over a paycheck or what was going on because of Suge said. Now, here come Reggie Wright. When he brought Reggie and his security in, everybody got a woosah because Reggie is moving with Suge like this
Right.
now.
And he's the police.
Yeah. So I ain't finna send myself back to prison. See, it was a lot of shady shit going on now. Now you got brothers, they finding the stashes in your car. Everybody that was getting mad at Suge, they find the stash in the car now, and he doing 5, 6 years in prison. He had a way to get rid of the ones that he was really afraid of.
I mean, after that whole situation happened, Suge ends up going to jail. And a lot of infighting starts to happen. What was the situation that happened with your brother, Buntry?
Infighting was before Suge went to jail. A lot of people don't understand that the more Buntry got closer to Suge, the less money that they were getting because Suge was doing a lot for Buntry.
So he was paying Buntry well.
Yeah. Buntry was getting more money than everybody. Some of the guys that was there were like straight cutthroat, like the one that killed Buntry, George, was so like, how the fuck this dude is getting this and I'm getting this? You giving me peanuts and he getting this. So it was a lot of everybody fighting each other. And it all depends on if Suge telling, man, he told me he gonna do woo woo because you getting this. What the fuck you telling him that for? Now, you know he gonna go back to him and say, motherfucker, you told Suge woo woo. And now they stabbing each other, now the homies. And I'm telling them. I'm telling all of them. I told my family before Buntry was killed that gotta watch out, bag up. This shit is this. And it was always Mom James, you drinking, you drunk, you tripping, and shit like this.
Well, I mean, Buntry's making, I guess, real money for the first time. I mean, legal money, I guess.
The
for
first time ever in his life.
First time ever, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not going to just leave that situation.
Well, that's why nobody wanted to leave that situation. I mean, everybody that was on death row, this was pretty much a first paper check. I don't have to rob a Mexican. I don't have to do this and that for it.
Along with the fame of being in the spotlight.
And then along with that, and then the liquor, the women, everything came with that. You know what I'm saying? You go to a concert, if you don't get none, then you got a problem. That's on you. If you don't come, if you don't,
your wife looking at you look crazy, right?
Drinking and just the whole line. It's a total different atmosphere than being on the block selling cocaine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then going places you've never been outside of Compton.
So the situation with Buntry, you said that George killed him?
Yeah.
And George was a Piru also?
Yeah.
Okay. He got stabbed?
Who?
Your brother.
No, he was shot 9 times. Alton wasn't the first that was killed under Suge Knight watch. And this is where everybody is, Buntry, it's just Buntry dead. You got Vincent, you got Heron, you got Hen Dog, you got Chin. I can just name them.
I guess it was 10 or 11 people?
Yeah, you got all of these guys up under
10 or 11 Pirus were killed associating with death row.
Yeah.
By other members?
By the same members that's in death row.
Wow.
Death row was fighting, the homies is clashing at each other like this now.
Because they were fighting over money.
Over the shit that Suge was saying and doing. Yeah. They say not just the money now. It's, okay, you fucking with my homie. This is my dog. And now everybody is fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? And when I tried to tell them that this shit is coming, nobody wanted to listen to me. You know what I'm saying?
Your brother gets shot 9 times
Yeah.
by George, another Piru member. Does he get convicted?
No. At that time, before Alton was shot, Davey, Lil Dave, Brim Dave was killed in front of our house. He and Buntry walked outside. He walked to the car with his girlfriend. they shot him 16 times, and the girl was shot, I think, 4 or 5. I think she lost her arm, he lost his life. Then Buntry was shot. And when Buntry was shot, somebody that was with Buntry had called and told them where Buntry was at. Now there's an armed-fledged war between each other in death row. It ain't no going back. You had Heron at the time hiding in bushes trying to catch a cat that was saying same man George said he gonna kill him. So it was just one after the other.
Yeah.
And when Buntry got killed, it was crazy because he was riding around taking care of his business, doing his thing. And these guys that came to the house once before, but Buntry, what's happening? What we doing? And I ain't worried about that. And it's like he wasn't tripping. But my sister the other day showed me some of this piece out the Bible that he had the same day, the day before he died, he had it on his nightstand. And I think Buntry knew something. He had to know because it was all over the place. And it wasn't no more place of business for death row. You couldn't go up there and hang together and kick it like it was from the beginning. Everybody had their guns. You got to have your gun on you. Like Heron. Heron never got caught slipping without his gun. Here he is, going up Rosecrans, stop at the light. And this guy hop out, him and a couple buddies, and they shoot him like 30, 40-something times. Just shot his shit up.
So what happened to George then?
George wound up going to the feds for water, sharing PCP and some guns, and wind up getting life behind that, him and Lil Rod, which a lot of those guys in the neighborhood was scared of George because they was doing what they was doing and how they was getting down, recruiting other Bloods from different places and all of that. But
so George was never charged with that murder?
I don't think they even bothered with it after he got sentenced to life in the feds. What's the difference?
What's the difference? Every February 5th, that's his birthday,
yeah.
You go through it all over again.
I could say this 100 times. If I wouldn't have brought my brother to death row, I wouldn't have put him in this situation. I think about I should have did something to Suge. I should have. I tried to figure out what I could have did, and he'd still be alive. I say it's my fault because I seen it coming. No matter what I said to Buntry, he didn't listen to me. No matter what I said to Suge, it might have scared him at that time, but turned his head and went the other way. And I should have felt like he should have been more afraid of me than any one of them other guys. But it didn't happen that way. Right. So,
because you had already distanced yourself from death row by that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss, man. But Buntry was your older brother?
My younger brother.
Younger brother. So that was your little.
This is my little brother.
That's your little man.
Yeah. Well, I got another one. Timmy and then Ouch and me. But yeah, that was my brother. We fought, we argued. You know, I argued with him about a lot of shit that was going on with Death Row, and he didn't want to listen to me. Grown man, handle your business. We stopped talking for a minute. You know, my whole thing was, Bunchy, why you keep calling my mama and telling my mama what I'm doing, and you on some bullshit. Yeah. Why you letting her talk to Suge, and getting her out the bed, coming to the shop and telling me come on, or coming to, you know, just, I mean, they couldn't control me. They had to call my mama. So my mama get on the phone and talk a little sense to me, and I'd leave and leave them alone.
As much pain as you went through losing your brother, I'm just gonna guess that it's a fraction of what your mother went through.
Yeah, yeah, and just to see her every day, from when we first found out, and when we got there, and to see her whole her expression change, her body just like ready to fold. It wasn't nothing nobody can do. And I see it every day. Every time I think about it, I see it every day. And it was killing me. So I knew she was going through it way worse. Me and her had our differences. I mean, she just dealt with it. And every night, or nights you come in and you hear her crying. I wouldn't wish it on nobody, but then you look at it as, this is the shit that I was doing every day to people. Gangbanging.
Yeah.
All the guys that died in Death Row got a mama, got a brother, got a sister, got family. And all these people was crying. But here you got a Suge Knight sitting here bitching and crying about going to prison. And people is like, on Suge Knight's side, oh, Mob James is saying this. I'm like this. I lost more than a paycheck. Fuck that check. I lost my brother doing this. Suge can't bring him back. Suge can't pay for him. And then after the shit that he did after Bunchy passed, can't nobody tell me nothing about Suge Knight. Nobody. I was just on Reggie's and them thing, saying, I'm gonna take my foot off this man's neck because he going through 28 years. It ain't even worth talking about Suge Knight no more. It's
with all the work that all the Pirus put in for Death Row, all the blood that was shed, all the violence that happened, all the people that you guys protected and everything else like that. At the end of the day, you said that everyone is still in the hood. No one has any money. No one even has a nice car.
We ain't got one millionaire. We ain't got $1,000. We ain't got not one man prospered from that. Not one. Everybody is back where they at. And when I say that, a lot of people get me twisted and saying that I'm bitching about what we got paid or where we at. Take your licks. I take my licks. I'm the first one to admit that if I can do this again, I'd get paid. And everybody else would be getting paid. But everybody knew what the outcome of this was going to be pretty much, because when Suge went to jail, Suge took back everything. He didn't want nobody to drive. He didn't want nobody to live.
So all the cars were basically leased under Death Row?
Yeah.
And then when he went to jail, he took everyone's cars back.
Park it. If I ain't driving and out there hanging out, enjoying the bitches and this and that, give up the car. and these is killers, and they was parking the cars, and the only reason why they was parking the cars because when Suge come home, they want to be in good grace. Come on, man. You are back to doing what you was doing before you even met him. Now everybody is back on the same page. So death row for everybody was a waste of life. Period.
At one point, Suge was essentially looked at as untouchable. Nobody got close to Suge. Nobody dared to even badmouth him publicly.
No, wouldn't dare.
But at one point, all the Pirus essentially, all the OG Pirus kind of separated from him. And then I think you said that's when he started getting knocked out and everything else like that.
Well, when everybody started going, after Buntry was killed, and then Hen Dog was killed, pretty much everybody started leaving him alone or going back to prison. Then he didn't have no choice but to recruit what I call the little homies. So the little homies was hanging, but they didn't have that mentality. So you take this big ass wall that you got behind you. When people look at you, they see these motherfuckers ready to eat. Because motherfuckers was getting paid more. If I knock a motherfucker out, they was getting paid more. They was getting a bonus or something. Mm-hmm. So they don't see that no more. So without that, let me get at this cat. Motherfuckers was pouring drinks on him, slapping him. The knockout, I think, was lucky, but
there was a couple of knockouts. There was the Barber guy, then there was also Akon's guy.
Yeah, my boy, he from the Second to None. The one that drive the tow truck is the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. No, but there was also the Akon situation. Well, because what I want to say is, at one point, Suge loses death row completely.
Yeah.
And Reggie explained how essentially he didn't show up to court.
A default judgment is what caused them to have to file bankruptcy. Not that Harry O was correct or the judge, they went through a trial or anything like that.
He didn't show up to trial.
Just didn't show up.
Some people would say, okay, well now I don't have all this money. Let me change the way I operate. Let me not push the issue with people. Let me be that likable guy. Because everyone wanted to fuck with Suge. Suge could have gotten into other situations, but Suge continued to push the line with people. Like the Akon situation when he got knocked out by Ja was him trying to collect royalties from a producer. The same thing that happened with Chocolate.
People wanted to hang with Suge because a lot of people were scared of people in the industry itself. And to fuck with Suge is ain't nobody gonna fuck with you because they know you fuck with Suge. We brung a lot to Suge that a lot of people don't know. We gave Suge what he is. And with that, a lot of people in the industry was so afraid of Suge or thinking these gangbangers is gonna come blow my house up or they finna this and I can't be seen on the music scene no more. I can't be caught at the studio. People paid Suge to be around Suge.
Right. I mean, because I can tell you from personal experience, I was, VladTV was in Universal Records at one point in New York. Mm-hmm. And in the security office, there was a picture of Suge on the wall, and it says, "Do not allow in the building," because Suge had threatened the president of Universal at the time over some royalties or whatever. Mm-hmm. There was an armed security guy in front of the building. Whenever the president was there, that would escort him to his car and back. Yeah, and this was after death row was gone and everything else like that. This is still happening.
But his shenanigans was still going on.
That's what I'm saying.
Suge was still going out of town. He was still going to New York. He was still going to places. And his tactics wasn't working no more because he didn't have the same people.
Yeah.
So without those people.
He got shot in Miami.
Yeah.
And
so
got
without
shot at the Chris Brown thing.
Without that, now everybody is testing you. Now you got to really show who you are. And look what happened every time he got tested. Every time he got tested. We had a fight with, I'm just going to tell you this story, with the Rams, his team, which when they cut him, they was talking shit. We seen him at the Roxy. And they scratched his car. Instead of him doing what he had to do, he ran into the club and got us. It's like 9 of them, 11 of us. But these some big motherfuckers. And I'm looking at Suge like, you really want to fight these motherfuckers? And he was like, yeah, he said, well, why you go in there and get them when I stretched your shit, bitch? Suge should have took off and handled his business right then and there. Now, if you 240 pounds lighter than him, yeah, he gonna slap the shit out of you. But if we equal the same weight, he gonna think about it. He gonna think about it. And Buntry and all of them seen that. And the other people seen it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who is you to grab a woman that's weighed 120 and you damn near 400 pounds?
Talking about the Cat Williams situation. Right.
So, I mean, he was just so full of shit.
Right.
But it ain't there no more.
Yeah, and he also slapped up the dude at the weed shop. When you saw that the Showtime documentary, it was America's Nightmare, and you see Suge at the end crying, you know, behind his sunglasses, how did that make you feel?
I felt kind of sorry for Suge. It was kind of sad because I'm watching him and I'm looking at him and this ain't Suge Knight, you know. The Suge Knight I knew didn't do drugs, wasn't no alcoholic. This cat right here look like an alcoholic. This cat is talking, but you don't understand shit he talking about. This ain't Suge Knight. And Suge Knight pretty much did like Scarface. At the end of the day, you gonna wreck yourself. With all the guys that are dead, and everybody is gone, and where Death Row is at now, he's pretty much right there too. So I can say he's where he belongs. And he dug that ditch for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel sorry for him, but then I don't feel sorry for him because on the other hand, I think 28 years, that's 3 years maybe for each guy that lost their life.
Suge gets locked up for the Terry Carter, you know, death. And I did a lot of interviews around, you know, while he was locked up. And I said, you know, I think he has a chance of getting off. I think this might be self-defense. You know, I had Big U on here and he said, oh yeah, no, Suge will do a year or two.
I think he was probably going to do about 3 more calendars, 3-4 more calendars at the most.
3 more years?
At the most.
And then get out?
Yeah, he'd be home. He'd definitely be home.
And then lo and behold, Suge accepts a 28-year plea deal.
Suge didn't want to take life.
Yeah, he didn't want the life.
One thing people don't understand, Suge had so many cases. In his office,
Right.
He had boxes of files with cases that he was fighting, assaults.
Yeah, he had 3 felonies that he was fighting, and he would have to beat, Reggie explained it, he would have to beat all 3 in court, and then beat another 3 potential appeals. And he just felt that he would not be able to win 6 trials in a row.
Spoke to him once after the plea, and what he pretty much explained or said was he would have had to win 6 times to not get life in jail.
Win 6 times? Because there were 6 different charges?
It was 3 different charges, but he would have had to beat those twice because they would have kept retrying him.
He knew he wasn't. He knew he wasn't. So he did the right thing. He did the right thing. But 28 years, I mean, he in there now. So my whole thing is let him do his time, and I'm just whatever with the dude. Whatever with the dude. I ain't got my brother. You know what I'm saying? So don't bitch over the 28. You know what I'm saying? Which I hear he's doing his thing. So I'm like pretty much fed up with Suge.
When you found out about the 28 years, did it bring any sort of closure with your brother?
No, not really. I was like 28 years. Damn, he's the same age as me, 53, 70, 81 years old. He'll be done. He won't be fucking. He can't make kids. Okay. I mean, I thought all kind of shit, but I mean, it pretty much stripped him. It stops the fuckery. He don't have the little homies or nobody that he can use or pay to do his dumb shit. Everything now he got to do it on his own because he got to do that time. Can't nobody else do it for him. So the Suge Knight is washed away. You know, the only time I really truly felt sorry for Suge is when Maxine passed and they wouldn't let him go see her.
That's his mother?
Yeah. My mother just passed. My little brother was in jail, and she didn't want my brother to die while she was in there. She said, I don't want him in there if something happened to me. So I know what he would have went through. So I know what Suge was going through.
Yeah.
Since my mother passing, it's hard for me, but I can't do nothing but move on. And my hatred for Suge and anybody else is, I'm good. I can't move on if I'm still feeling the way I feel about those cats. The ones that got something bad to say or whatever the case might be. If you ain't saying it to me, I'm good with you. And that's how I feel. My brother Buntry, last year I did not get pissy drunk and wanted to hoorah, hoorah. I'm getting older. I have to accept it. I have a grandson, grandkids, and my focus is on that now.
Yeah.
I don't too old for the shit that I used to do, so I ain't tripping.
If Suge walked in the room right now and sat on this couch, what would you tell him?
What would I tell him?
Yeah, or what would you do?
I would just tell him, fuck you. If me and Suge can have a conversation, if I can get on the phone and talk to Suge right now today, I tell Suge, you should have listened to me. When we first started, you should have listened to me. You shouldn't have put on that motherfucking devil suit, the red suit. You shouldn't have done none of that shit. You shouldn't have been in the pictures and all that other shit. You should have listened to me, but you didn't. You turned everybody against me just to suit yourself, and then look where they at and look where you at. I got a lot to say to him. A lot to say to him.
I mean, he's got the time to talk these days.
No, I don't. I'm not finna reach out to Suge.
Yeah.
No, that's over and done.
Yeah.
We've been there, and he chose to get on, which okay, cool, but I'm gonna let it go. I gotta let it go. You know, I don't care what Trayvon or none of those guys say about Tupac. Y'all want Tupac to be from the hood. Think one thing. It makes you guys look bad because he was killed on your watch. Y'all allowed this man to do shit that he shouldn't have did and had no business doing. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, y'all glorified by, oh, that's the homie. That don't mean shit. We got a lot of dead homies. But y'all killed your money. You know what I'm saying? And they don't see the difference. It's ain't nobody smarter than this at all.
So then you fast forward a couple years, and they're filming Straight Outta Compton. Suge is friends with Terry Carter. Was Terry around during the whole?
Well, Terry always been around.
Well, he's one of the founder of the Bloods.
Yeah, he's always been around. He ain't. I mean, that was one of the coolest cats that you can ever deal with. You know, a lot of motherfuckers say my brother Buntry was a cool motherfucker and took care of cats while they was in prison. Terry Carter is one. And Suge knew he was a cool motherfucker. He ain't finna do nothing to Suge. Bones, I don't think Bones is gonna do nothing to Suge. But this is Suge's problem. You coming up there looking for Dre, talking about he owe you some money. Dre left Death Row with zero money, dollars. He walked away, I don't want nothing, just let me go. So here Suge is, now Dre worth a lot of money. He think Dre know what's going on, I'm gonna get 250,000, maybe $1 million out this motherfucker, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So them talking to Suge, and then the situation escalated. Now Suge is scared.
Well, after Bone ended up beating him up in the car. Yeah.
Now he's scared. Now he just finna take off. He just finna take the fuck off because he's scared now, and that's how that happened.
Right. And if he had just taken off and driven off, nothing would happen.
Even if he'd have got out the car and went and hollered at Bones or talked to, you know what I'm saying, talk this situation out, he'd have been cool. But no, Suge was scared and he panicked.
Right. And then he backed up and then ran over Bone and then killed, on accident, ended up killing Terry Carter.
Terry Carter was trying to pretty much tell him, hold up. And Suge went blind at that time. I think the cataract hit the left eye and he couldn't see no more. That's what he said in court. He was blind. He had so many motherfucking health issues after that shit. It's pathetic.
Yeah. And I remember I interviewed Trey D, who was being managed. Well, he was managed by Terry Carter at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's very close to Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that his problem with that whole situation was,
you know, when he walked in and turned himself in and the cameras was out there and, you know, he just put the cigar out and put it in the tree and said, yeah, you know, I'll be back to get this in the morning, you know, and just, you know, walked in like it wasn't nothing. I didn't see no remorse or no, you know, confusion or, you know, he didn't even seem to be unsettled. And then when I heard what had happened in the interim of that going on and him bagging up and running over Terry and everything, you know, he just, you know, went freshened up, you know what I'm saying? He knew what was coming, you know, parlayed with his little piece or whatever, and, you know, hey man, let me go get this out the way. Like it was nothing. And, you know, I don't want to sit here and pretend that, you know, I'm just so broke up about it that, you know what I'm saying, it just disturbs me to that degree. But it's like, I would want to know, like, damn, man, how could you knock your boy off like that and then it not even show on you?
You can't have remorse if you didn't live this. You ain't lived like this. We lose a homie, we at the funeral, we crying, we going through it because we done lost a homie. Suge haven't lived that life. He ain't lived like that. So our lives that wasn't worth shit, you know, really didn't mean shit to him. That's why he continued to do what he did. We done lost all these homies on death row, man. We need a memorial or something. We need to do something. Half of them he didn't even want to help bury or didn't.
I interviewed DOC, who was, you know, basically was the one that brought Suge around into what eventually became Death Row.
Yeah.
And the way he explained it to me was that
Suge was a big kid. He's a deviant. You know what I mean? Like, he used to tell stories about pissing on football players' legs in the shower and thought that was just the funniest shit in the world. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Suge was baiting him in. I liked him too until he did what he did. But DLC, I don't care who knows. I don't like him either. He was a fucking weenie for Suge. And he was a yes man, and Suge fucked him at the end of the day. And now he regret fucking with Suge. But yeah, Suge went up in him dry as fuck.
What does that mean?
Fucked him with no grease.
Oh, okay, got it.
But I mean, he did him like pretty much everybody that had his back, and you know, DOC was there for him. And then at the end of the day, he threw me away like, fuck that, his throat is fucked up. He ain't no good. And this how he telling us, fuck DOC. So I think we had the Soul Trains Award, and DOC jumped in a limo and took off with all of us. This limo full of Pirus. And he took off with us, hitting street corners, hitting alleys, and I'm talking about shaking us up. So we pulled back in front of the Soul Trains Awards, and he gets out laughing, but he's drunk.
Yeah.
So the homeboy Rock wanted to shoot him. No, don't shoot him. Hold up, I got him. Man, you just know what you did? And he was, hey. So I socked him in his mouth, and he on the ground, slid him on the car. And a female ran and said, oh, he hit DOC. He hit DOC. She'll come over there, hey, who hit him? Nigga, I hit him. I mean, lucky I hit him because he was going to get shot. So him too, with his shenanigans, he was full of shit, and he set himself up on the Suge Knight propaganda. And he thought he was going to come out on the other end, but he came out on the same end we did, straight out the asshole. And he where he at because of that.
You have kids. How many children do you have?
I got 3.
And how many grandkids?
3.
3. Did your kids bang at all?
No.
No. And your grandkids are still small.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me clarify that. My 2 sons, college, everything. My daughter is me and her mother.
Yeah.
My daughter is a little rougher than my sons, and I'm trying my best with her. And I have her son right now, my grandson, and I'm helping her with my grandson. But she coming along, but she's my payback.
Oh, so she's actually somewhat involved in.
She's a South Side. She's from South Side.
Oh, she's from.
Yeah.
Your enemy's side, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
God has an interesting way of working things out.
Her mama is from South Side, so
right.
So I'm gonna stop moving so much for you.
It's okay.
But yeah, her mama is from South Side, so she went that way. But it's okay. I mean, the older she get, and I think the older we all get, we learn. And I'm learning from a lot of my mistakes every year.
Yeah.
So she got a while to go, but she'll get there.
You know, when you look at your kids and your grandkids, and it's like, look, I've been shot 4 times. I've done this much prison time. I lost my brother. I lost my close friends. I didn't make any money. I don't have a bag to show for it. You know, if they tell you, hey, Grandpa, I wanna follow your footsteps. I want to be an OG like you. What would you tell them?
I would, and I tell them this, and my sister vouched for me. My nephews, they all claim the mob. The majority of them is my baby brother's sons. But my nephews, they all claim the mob. I hear stories about them saying my oldest son say the mob when he drink, but he's not a gangbanger. I tell them all the time, the homies killed your uncle. I feel stupid because I represented this shit and gave a lot to my neighborhood. A lot of penitentiary chances. I hurt a lot of people from my neighborhood. Now, your uncle is dead by Bloods, not no Crips. That defeated the purpose, and that killed me in the inside. You don't want to be a gangbanger. You're not going to get paid for it. When you go to jail, you ain't going to get a check. Then I point out to them this. The first year after your uncle died, they forget about you. And I tell my kids, I tell my nephews, I tell all of them, you're not going to get paid doing this. You ain't getting nothing out of this but the penitentiary. Don't be like me and say, if I woulda, shoulda, coulda. Go to school and do what you got to do.
Right.
Don't you be like me, you're going to have a problem. And they don't listen. So if they don't listen, now they grow up the way they want to grow up.
Yeah.
I'm there for them, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't make them.
Well, but your two sons went to college.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yes, my oldest son is raising his daughter from day one. My youngest son is so smart. He went to Texas, the Longhorns.
A&M?
Yeah. He's a computer freak. He's really a geek.
Nice.
But my boys are good.
Yeah.
He don't have no kids. My youngest son don't have no kids, 22. And my oldest son, he has a daughter that he's been raising for 10 years on his own. They're good. My daughter is no, seriously. But I love it though, because I love my daughter.
Yeah.
And my kids is everything to me. So now I got to figure out now when the grandpa thing came, I got to change the game. I got to change up. I got to be here for them. I got to know who was my grandpa. No, I see that in my nephew Lil Alton kids that'll never see their grandpa.
Yeah.
And I know if Bunchy was here, that first granddaughter of his would have been on and cracking. He'd have loved her.
Yeah.
But she'd never know her grandpa. So I'm soaking all this. I got to be there for my kids and my grandkids. And the whole year and a half left of my mother's life, I'm there at the house with her. And 7, 8 months, I got my grandson. So it's me, my mom's, and my grandson. And man, he's the joy of my life because this dude is 2 years old and he do everything. He does everything. He's so smart, but he bad. And they say terrible too. That ain't terrible too. He doing stuff that you wouldn't think nobody gonna do. But Death Row taught me a lot, made me understand a lot. Friendship and loyalty. A lot of the homies you think had loyalty, but they didn't possess it at all from the beginning. And my mother used to tell me, your friends ain't who you think they are. You'll see. Your family is your friends. When Buntry passed, I seen there was no loyalty in my hood. There's nowhere in the world I could stay here. No, I could be a part of this. These niggas don't have loyalty. All these guys, I went out of my way. I don't smoke weed, never did. But I would get my check from Suge, come to the hood, buy liquor, buy weed, and put it out there, and everybody, as long as I'm feeling good while I'm drinking, everybody else gonna feel that way. If you got shot, I'm gone, I'm out there. Loyalty. I had to join the motorcycle club to see what that meant. And I have some good friends in the motorcycle club. If I call, they coming. These dudes in the hood is, the gangbanging thing is the loyalty. Nigga, you a blood. You don't say this, you don't do this. Where's my loyalty? You cats don't care. Y'all don't talk about Buntry. Y'all ain't on no Buntry. Y'all ain't on no Hen Dog. Y'all got pictures of Tupac on your body. Let's do roll call. What about Top Dog and all the other homies that is dead? Big Frank, Showboat, all these cats. They worried about Tupac. Okay. No longer than 2 years, maybe 3 years, Tupac in your life. Now he's gone. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. Loyalty is out the window these days. And, these older cats is not teaching these younger cats, what loyalty means, what friendship means. You got a lot of things like money comes into play, and I kill you for some money, or I'll turn my back on you for this and that, for some pussy or whatever. It's just I'm saying it all wrong, and I got it right here what I'm saying that'll really touch you, but it's just so fucked up right now.
I mean, when you look at the rules and the structure and the principles that you were raised in, you're not supposed to snitch. You're supposed to, something happens to one of your homies, you're supposed to put in work. You do all these things, and then once you do them, oftentimes, where's the win? You know what I mean? Like, you don't snitch, you're involved in a crime, you don't snitch, you do these years in prison, you come out, what's waiting for you? Usually nothing. Like, for example, I interviewed Freeway Ricky, as well as Lil D. I don't know if he was the crack kingpin of Oakland. They both told me they got locked up with millions, they had millions of dollars when they got locked up and got their 30 whatever year, lifetime sentences. They put money and property in their families and friends' names, and every single time when they got out, there was nothing there for them.
When you get all that time, you have to trust somebody. You got to let people hold money. You got to let people have your properties in their names. And majority of the guys that you will have a conversation with that did a bunch of those years, throughout those years, family and friends, they gonna spend that money, man. Because they feel like you don't need it, though. Like, in their mind, they say, all you need is some money to go to the commissary and get on the phone.
Absolutely.
Same thing with you?
Same thing. Identical stories.
Identical, yeah. So all these people that are getting locked up who think that their relatives and their homies are going to hold on to that $500,000 in cash and that property and those cars when you come out.
And when you doing it, you're thinking like you're going to accumulate this stuff, and when you come home, you will have that.
Yeah, but when you came out, you had nothing.
Nothing.
All these rules that you were supposed to follow, and you're supposed to be a real street dude, a real Piru. Do you feel that a lot of it was a lie?
I believed in what I was. I believed in the game banging thing, period. That was my life. At one time, in my younger days, I disrespected my mama from my neighborhood. She couldn't tell me that these weren't my friends. She couldn't tell me that one of these cats that's sitting at this table right here is going to be the one that kill you. She couldn't tell me that back then. If she told me, it happened. It happened. So the homies, the hood, and none of that can't tell me shit because they ain't looking out for Lil Alton. They ain't looking out for his son, Ascari. They didn't look out for my moms. Suge didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a check when Buntry was killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never got a check for now. Nobody I ever hurt. You know what I'm saying? This is what we was doing, and for this to be my life, and then at the end of the day, my friends killed my brother. Man, they killed me. So there's no way in the world I can be a part of this, and still feel good about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand why my nephews and my other brother still want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Ain't that much street out here.
Right. And this is why in the beginning of the interview, when I said you're a mob Piru, you said used to be.
Yeah.
So you don't claim it anymore.
No, I don't. Man, you better sock me upside my head if I ever say that again in my life. No, I don't. I think I was let down. The hood let me down. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of things supposed to have been different when he passed, different when Haron passed, different when Hendog passed, different when Chin passed, Vincent, every man that was killed in here. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of shit should have been different. And I think if we represent this and this is what we is, at some point we all got to come together like godfathers and put a stop to it. Ain't nobody saying none of that. Everybody pointing the finger over here, over there. And this man is still doing his thing. So all these guys from the different hoods in Compton, that these brothers that lost their lives, ain't none of the homies stepping up and say, I hear what you're saying, Mob James. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to speak. So you pretty much telling me, fuck me anyway. But I say to you, fuck you. You feel me? And it's 18 years, 16 years, 17 years since my brother's death. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. Just leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. Yeah. And that's where it's at.
Well, I mean, I could tell you, we have a pretty big audience. A lot of people watch our interviews, young and old. Mm-hmm. And I think that I can guarantee you that someone's going to watch this, who's thinking about gangbanging, who, looks up to Lil Wayne, throwing red rags, and Chris Brown, and all the various other rappers who glorify the gangbanging thing, and they're going to see this story and say, maybe not. Maybe I should reconsider.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I know so. Because I get the DMs and I get the messages and I get people that say, hey, this interview changed my life, and thank you for showing the other side of it, because we don't try to glorify this.
Yeah.
We try to show what really happens on the back end, and it's almost never a good ending.
Well, I'm doing a book right now, and I think my book is gonna truly explain to everybody what death row was. And I mean, we can all paint a picture of death row. We all demons. We all fucked up. And when people see the interviews and they comments, one thing they say, I never blame myself. I'm putting myself first, because I fucked up and didn't do what I had to do with Suge. I should have had Suge in order and kept it in order when Buntry came and everybody else got there. And we'd have fixed that and cleaned that shit up at the beginning instead of letting it ride the way it did. And by not doing that, Suge was allowed to use us with his money. And we was easily influenced because a lot of us didn't have money like that and couldn't make money that way. One thing about Suge is Suge couldn't tell me as a man, I need you to go and do whoomp. Fuck you, you do it. We ain't getting down like that, you do it. Now, if you do it, I come with you. But if he ain't gonna do it, why the fuck would I do it? Yeah. So me and Suge had that understanding. So Suge know he couldn't use me like that. So if you can't use me like that, now you're talking to my friends, my homies.
Yeah.
And that's why I was speaking of loyalty. The loyalty should have lied with me. I broke bread with every last one of you cats on this thing here. We done been in cars and trenches together, every last one of you cats. Here come a cat that y'all never dealt with or known, and you say fuck me for. So the loyalty was shot as soon as they seen that paper.
Yeah.
It was over with.
Yeah.
And I should have left sooner, but I still wanted the paper. And I let Suge get away with a lot of shit that was going on because Suge said, I got something for you, come to the office. And it was okay.
Yeah.
Go up there, get a check, and then the situation is gone already. No, let's address the situation in front of the homies, and then everybody can see you for what you is, running your fucking mouth. And now let's handle it. Didn't happen.
Well, Mob James, I think it's a very powerful story that you told. And, although you did have a lot of losses,
yeah,
here you are, alive right now, You have children who are alive and healthy. You have grandchildren who are alive and healthy. You have a wife. You have siblings. Your father's still alive?
No.
No. But you do have a lot of family.
Yeah.
You know, and friends and so forth. And that is something to be very thankful for.
Yeah.
Because you could have gone the route of a lot of your homies. And you know, I think that what you've said is going to influence people in a positive direction.
I hope so.
And you know, I can't wait to read the book.
Yeah,
when it comes.
we doing our thing, and it's coming. My whole thing is that everybody understand. You know, a lot of people is making money off the Tupac thing. Tupac was killed by one man. This guy, and Tupac would still be alive if shit wouldn't happen. If Suge would have had more control. If I can't blame Reggie, but he should have had more than one man on that artist. This man is a diamond in a rough with cats that's not worth $500, $1,000, $10,000, should I say?
Yeah, I mean, Tupac went down as what most people would say is the greatest rapper of all time. And in fact, you know, because of the revolutionary spirit and the content, you could go to any country in the world. You can go to Jamaica, you could go to South America, you go to Europe, and there's murals because he was the face of the revolution.
Yeah.
You know, and and we lost him from one man over a fight, over a fist fight, essentially.
He hit a man that he had no business touching. It was not his fight. And all these guys be talking and saying that is this and that. Tupac should have been escorted out the door, into the car, and driving away when they was whooping his ass. Now, Orlando probably could have understood, would have accepted that ass whooping, because he know I got some bona fide ass niggas whooping on my ass here.
Right.
I can catch him in Compton. No, Tupac take off him. This nigga ain't nothing but a rapper. This how he looking at him. He ain't looking at him like no gangbanger. So I gotta get this fool. I go back home and they say Tupac beat me up. I can't show my face in the hood no more. So he did what he had to do.
It's tragic.
Man,
it's tragic. It's tragic. Well, Mob James, I appreciate you coming in and telling your story.
Okay,
man.
okay.
And
I need a cigarette.
My condolences to all your losses, and you know, congratulations on your children and your grandchildren.
Yeah, I love them to death.
Yes, sir.
Let me go. I gotta go smoke a cigarette.